Number 1. The 1969 Apollo 11 mission is maybe one of the biggest achievements of the 20th century. The mission lasted just 8 days, in which time 3 astronauts flew from the Earth to the Moon. Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk on the Moon. Buzz Aldrin joined him a few minutes later, and the 2 men spent a total of 21 hours on the surface of the Moon. Number 2. Armstrong may have been the first man on the Moon, but the first woman in space was Valentina Tereshkova. This Russian cosmonaut took part in the 1963 Vostok 6 mission. She spent nearly 3 days in space and orbited the Earth a total of 48 times. Number 3. For many, climbing Mount Everest is the biggest challenge they can imagine. In 1953, New Zealand-born Edmund Hillary and his climbing companion Tenzing Norgay successfully climbed the world's highest mountain. After weeks of brutal climbing, they had finally reached the 8,848-meter high summit. They spent just 15 minutes at the top before starting the long journey back home. Number 4. Another example of people pushing themselves to the limits in the most inhospitable environments on the planet is Robert Swan. In the 1980s, he went on 2 epic journeys. The first to the South Pole, the second to the North Pole. After completing both expeditions, Swan became the first man to walk to both poles without assistance. Number 5. You do not always have to have experience to achieve great things. Jessica Watson, for example, was only 16 years old when she sailed a boat alone around the world. She left the port of Sydney, Australia on October 18th, 2009 and returned on May 15th, 2010, which was just 3 days before her 17th birthday.